Lieutenant Governor of Texas threatened to take Joe Biden off the ballot immediately after being questioned about Trump being taken off the ballot for his insurrection acts. He then quickly went, "Oh, well, we wouldn't do that because we're the party of law and order." Well, then why did you float that idea, patty cakes? Old Dan Patrick giving Patricks like me a bad name, obviously showing their hand, being like, well, if you do it, we'll do it too. Because they don't actually care about laws, and they don't actually care about states' rights or the Constitution or any of that bullshit. They just care about winning in power and doing whatever they can to maintain that. So if the Democrats do something they don't like, obviously they're going to do it back, which I have been seeing all day in the comments. Oh, well, you're going to feel real stupid when we take Biden off the ballot. Biden didn't try to do an insurrection when he lost, because he didn't lose. People who hate Joe Biden to their core because they ingest a lot of foreign propaganda came out and voted for him because they knew that Trump was worse. Conservatives can't seem to decide if the insurrection was or wasn't an insurrection because sometimes the FBI did it and sometimes Antifa did it and sometimes police officers are there and sometimes it, didn't happen at all and sometimes it was a peaceful protest and sometimes it was liberals. And Trump himself is arguing that he's allowed to do an insurrection because that part of the Constitution doesn't cover presidents because it doesn't specifically have the word president in it. What's amazing is this whole thing, all of it, was brought to the courts by a Republican and independent group that was going against Trump. It wasn't liberals. It wasn't leftists. It was from within. Yeah, the call came from inside the House, conservatives. And then a conservative judge, and I'm paraphrasing here, was like, well, it doesn't specifically say president, so I guess he's allowed to do insurrection because he didn't, even though he has a big ceremony where he swears to uphold the Constitution, he doesn't have to do that. And then the Supreme Court of Colorado was like, yeah, he does. So that's where we're at. And then immediately the lieutenant governor of Texas was like, well, then we'll take Joe Biden off. I keep seeing people say, you're setting a precedent here. Nobody is setting a precedent. It's in the Constitution. It's not a new law. Because the last time a bunch of traitorous rat bastards tried to overthrow democracy, we beat them in a big war. And when they came back hat in hand, we held a constitutional convention and we put in that part about how those guys aren't allowed to hold public office. And just because Trump couldn't even get that far doesn't mean that doesn't apply to him. If anybody set a precedent, it was the time that the president tried to overthrow democracy on live television. But are we surprised that the party that's backing a guy who's screaming obvious blood in the soil fascist rhetoric are now being openly fascist about this? I'm not. I've been using that word correctly since 2016. Because I read a lot of books about World War II, and I've been trying to warn people. Anyway, none of this matters. All that matters is what the Supreme Court says. These guys are being losers, and it's really funny to watch them have their temper tantrums and just openly tell us their beliefs. Cry harder, traitors. America #1. USA. USA.